If everybody could grab your seat, we'll get this show on the road. Good evening. I'm Randy Cassimus, and I am the acting executive director of the OCCC Foundation, and also very proudly the associate director of alumni relations here at the college. And on behalf of the foundation, on behalf of the Alumni Association, on behalf of the college, thank you guys very much for being here this evening. We're happy that you've come to help us celebrate our class, our 2016 class of the OCCC Alumni Hall of Fame. I would like to take a brief moment and recognize a few folks that have joined us this evening. If you wouldn't mind, if you'd stand when I call your name, and everybody, if you would please hold your applause till everyone's been recognized, and we'll give them a big rousing applause. Regent Jim White is here. Regent White, glad you're here. Regent Rick Moore and his wife Vicki are here. Rick here celebrating and honoring his brother, Bill, who's one of our inductees this evening, so happy about that. Former Regent Mike Voorhees and his wife Sharon are here. Mike. Former Regent Al Snipes is also here. Mr. Snipes, and he's also a member of our foundation board. Glad to see you, sir. OCCC President Jerry Stewart and First Lady Tammy Stewart are with us this evening. We also have a few elected officials with us also. House Minority Leader Scott Inman is with us, I do believe, this evening. Representative Inman. Representative Gary Bands and his wife Linda are with us. Also, newly elected Representative Forrest Bennett is with us as well. Hello, sir. County Commissioner Brian Maughan, also with us this evening. Brian, good to see you. Also a former Hall of Fame inductee. From our foundation board this evening, we have Tony Arango, also a former inductee. Joyce Malden, Mr. Randy Thurman, also a former Alumni Hall of Fame inductee. Mr. Max Weldon. Also, a few other Alumni Hall of Fame former inductees are here as well. Aaron Evans, Angela Hill, Chris Snow, Mary Breeze, Dr. Fong Hong. Thank you, folks, for joining us this evening. It's our pleasure to have you tonight. Again, thanks everybody for being here. At this time, I would like to invite up Mr. Randy Thurman, who is going to lead us in our invocation this evening. And when Randy is done, I would invite you to enjoy your dinner, enjoy some good conversation, and enjoy the fabulous music of the Brent Blunt Trio.
Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we pause this moment to give you thanks. We thank you for this day. We thank you for our lives. We thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us, and help us remember those blessings, as easy it is sometimes to remember our challenges. We thank you for this country, and we ask guidance and direction for its leadership. We thank you for this community college and ask for guidance and direction for its leadership. And help us to remember the thousands of lives that it touches beyond generations. We ask that you bless this food and nourishment of our bodies, and may the meditation of our hearts and our minds, and more importantly, our actions, be acceptable in your sight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Good evening. I'm so sorry, that was extremely loud from a small person like myself. Let me push this back. Welcome, all on behalf of the OCCC Association of Alumni and Friends. I wanted to share a joke real quick. The band was actually playing on this side after the fire alarm, and somebody said, "It's your fault that the alarm went off," and he said, "Yeah, because the music was smoking." So I wanted to acknowledge your joke and let them know. I thought that was pretty witty. My name is Fong Hong, and I'm the current president of the OCCC Association of Alumni and Friends, where our aim is to connect alumni with students at OCCC to provide guidance and assistance with their career choices and to nurture a meaningful experience at the Oklahoma City Community College. I would like to acknowledge the alumni board members that are present here tonight. If you would please hold your applause to the end, and the board members, if you would stand up, please. J.R. Webster, Mia Rojo, Dan Anderson, Mary Breeze, Valerie Adair, and my good friend Tom Hedgeland. Thank you guys for your service. We also have the fan club members here tonight, which is the Future Alumni Network. They are a club organization for current OCCC students who want to be engaged with the college and have opportunities to build their networking and leadership skills, and who serve the college and the community with their community service and fundraising activities. Some of those students are here tonight at some of the tables. Would you please raise your hand so they can see you? So please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a nudge and say, hey, make sure you graduate. School is important. In regards to raising funds, among other worthwhile things that the OCCC Alumni Association does, it works to provide scholarship funds to OCCC students through the OCCC Foundation. We'd like to show you a brief video featuring some of our students who have been helped by such donations.
Winning a scholarship means that I have to work less through school and can keep achieving different degrees. I plan to go and get my master's degree, and so I'll be in school for a very long time, and the less money I take out for my undergrad, the better.
This scholarship means everything to me. Without it, I can't go to school, and I appreciate so much that other people believe in my dreams just as much as I do.
Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you to the Connie Nizer family for supporting future generations of OCCC students and for the legacy that you started with the accounting lab. I wouldn't have probably passed accounting 1 or 2 without the help of using the accounting lab.
It's very important because it's what's helping me go to college, get through college. Without the scholarship, I wouldn't be able to pay my tuition or books. So if I didn't get the scholarship, I would not be attending school. So it's very important that I had the opportunity to get one to further my education.
I am going in for cardiac vascular sonography, and I have 3 children, and my husband has taken out an early retirement so that I can finish my education. This will allow us to afford the transportation back and forth, which has been a very big hardship for us right now. Thank you.
What it meant to me to receive the Blackson Association Scholarship is letting me know the people that do not even know me believe and continue my education. Thank you.
My husband and I have made a lot of sacrifices for our family, for both of us to attend college. And I have been blessed enough to stay at home with my 4-year-old daughter through it all. And not only is it a future for me with my scholarship to help me finish school, but it's her future also. So I'm very thankful for every dime of support I can get. Thank you.
Being awarded this scholarship has been a major blessing because instead of working full-time, I'm able to work part-time and focus more on my studies and still be able to help out around the house.
This scholarship means that people believe in me based on what I have been able to demonstrate academically. Thank you.
By me getting this scholarship, it just shows me if I just try to do something and work hard for it, I can get it. And it gives me a push to do more things and help me try more things and get over my fear of traveling to different countries, because in my career field, I really see myself doing something like that. And the way it helps me, it just gives me more confidence in just getting to know people, talking to people, and just my communication skills, period. Thank you.
I can make more time for school and go as a full-time student, I don't have to work as much, so it's a big help. It's a huge help. It's gonna make a big difference, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Winning a scholarship means accomplishing your dreams. Coming from a first-generation student, I am now able to afford tuition and other things necessary for college.
Just being recognized as someone who is making a difference and who wants to make a difference in the community is huge to me. I have a small daughter, and this helps pay for her tuition. Her tuition for school here is twice as much as mine, and I'm completely independent, so I don't have childcare. And that means that I'm able to go to college still, and she's able to go to college, and we're just gonna make a big difference. You just keep watching for us.
Thank you.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So those are real students, real lives that have been touched by the scholarship. You can see why these scholarships mean so much to our students and how the funds positively impact their lives. They all mention the financial challenges they experience. They also are balancing out family commitments, a second job, and the other amazing sacrifices that they had to make just to be able to attend school, to better their lives. So in your program this evening, you'll find a donation card in your program. In the right, you'll see a box that breaks down how much your donations can contribute to, whether it be a book, a credit hour tuition, an emergency loan. So take a chance to take a look at that tonight, okay? And please help us to be a part of our students' success by donating to the OCCC Foundation. Just fill out the card, place it in the accompanying envelope, and leave it on your table. We'll pick it up at the end of the evening. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce your fearless leader, our president, Dr. Jerry Stewart.
I do have fears, believe me. It's a great honor to be associated with Oklahoma City Community College. It's a great honor to be president, a great honor to be a part of the staff and faculty. We get to celebrate many successes here at the college, but there are two times in the year that are the most special. And one of those times is commencement. That's the time when we're up on the stage and we see students walking across the stage, some with tears in their eyes, most of them with broad smiles, and we celebrate their graduation. The other time is tonight. We celebrate students who have attended Oklahoma City Community College, and they have gone into the world well prepared for success in their business and profession. I can tell you that every faculty member and every staff member lives for that celebration of the success that we experienced tonight. I appreciate you all being here, and on behalf of the Board of Regents of Oklahoma City Community College, I want to thank you again for being here. A special thanks to members of the Oklahoma City Community College Foundation Board of Directors. You do such great work in helping our students achieve their goals. To the friends and family of our inductees tonight, we know that very few people go through this world and all of their success is just due to their own efforts. It is almost always due to not only the hard work of the student, but also the support of the family and the friends. So thank you. And most of all, to those of you who are being inducted to the Alumni Hall of Fame this evening, I want to say first, congratulations. We are extremely proud of your accomplishments, and we are very proud that you call Oklahoma City Community College your college. Thank you again for being with us tonight.
Carmen, Oklahoma native Rocky Yardley is in his 36th year with the Edmond Police Department, where he is a technical investigator, a CSI to those familiar with the TV franchise. Rocky has worked some of the highest profile cases in Oklahoma history, including the 1986 Edmond Post Office Massacre and the Murrah Building bombing in 1995, working hard to bring proper justice to situations in need of it. He got his start as a student in OCCC's EMT program.
I was working locally for a local ambulance service. Back in the 70s, when I started, the mid and late 70s, it was run by funeral homes, which seems kind of odd at the time, but that's what the services were in the United States. OCCC back then, we called it SOCJOC, South Oklahoma City Junior College. Was one of the few programs in the country that was offering that type of program. So while working for the local funeral home on the ambulance, attended school at South Oklahoma City Junior College, OCCC, for their paramedic program, emergency medicine program. I was 23 when I started in the Oklahoma City area with the ambulance service, and what OCCC no doubt taught me and every other paramedic and every other nurse that passes through that program is confidence. I'm 23 years old and I'm running ambulance calls and I'm saving lives, and we're doing things that you would never think that you could do at that time. And they instilled in you confidence, and they do that to this day.
After a few years working as an EMT with AmCare, Rocky joined the Edmond Police and soon found his true calling.
2 years after I hired on in 1982, I put in to go to the FBI U.S. Army's Bomb Disposal School. It's the only civilian bomb disposal school. It's an incredible school. Every bomb tech in the United States attends that school.
Rocky's bomb tech training served him well in his duties, from having to set explosives at the Edmond Post Office to breach the building, to investigating the devastating aftermath of Timothy McVeigh's truck bomb in downtown Oklahoma City.
During the investigation of the Murrah Building, we were searching for physical evidence from the bomb. Of course, in that investigation, you come across remains, you come across many, many items. They told us when we first arrived, we're going to have to take everything out of that building. And I said, we're going to be here for 5 years. We did it in 30 days.
You may even remember seeing Rocky during those days in this iconic photograph and some of his handiwork that still remains today.
I'd been working on a statement. I wanted a statement that meant to us, our team, and to meant to all the rescue workers down there. I went up to our team leader one time and said, would you mind if I spray painted something on the side of the building? And the one saying over there, it originally was in red, now I've redone it in black a couple times because it's fading, over there on the wall of the Journal Record building. That's the saying that I spray painted on there, thinking they were going to tear the building down, didn't think anything about it. And it's still there to this day. Heartfelt moment. I remember when they were going to do a memorial service down there when it finally got shut down, and they came to us and said, we need to clean this area up because we're going to have a memorial service. We're done, and we're going to get ready to implode the building. So we cleaned it up. And as we were leaving, we had the little memorial service, and we were leaving. The crowd was outside, and they started applauding. I don't know why. We were doing our job, but that always the thank you that they gave us was very heartfelt, and it was draining. We were drained. We were tired, but we went in there with the intent of getting everybody home, and we did. But I'll never forget those people standing on the outside, the citizens applauding, and incredible.
In 1996, Rocky began to focus on a somewhat different type of discovery and recovery: underwater, joining the Edmond Police dive team and becoming a dive instructor.
In 1996, I developed the Underwater Explosive Recovery course. That's where we take bomb techs who are also scuba divers and train them to be public safety divers. We teach them to safely recover explosives that have been hidden, discarded, or placed underwater. So we've trained many, many agencies, including the FBI, ATF, U.S. Navy, New Zealand Navy, how to do these things safely, because we want to make sure everybody goes home at the end of the day. But we're not going to let criminals think that they're going to get out of being judged just because they hide evidence underwater.
From blackwater diving to explosives abatement to various criminal investigations, Rocky's workday is rarely dull, although even he can't escape paperwork.
One of the reasons I like this job, you never know what you're going to do. A lot of it is report writing. We do a lot of report writing. So even OCCC helped me to, when you write a good medical report, that you can write a good crime scene report.
Rocky has received numerous accolades in his 4-decade career in public safety and criminal justice, but he once came very close to being remembered for something a little less venerable.
I was the one that almost cut the memorial tree out at the Murrah building. About 2 days into the post-blast investigation, we'd been assigned a team. I was on team 5. There was evidence up the tree. I'm in, somebody's going to jail mode, this is bad, there's evidence in the tree, let's get it down. That tree, and you remember that tree, how bad it looked before, even before the bombing. Well, it looked 10 times worse. So I asked our team leader, an FBI agent, what do you want to do about this evidence? A big sheet of metal. He said, get it down, get it. So I went over, got a chainsaw, and I was about ½ inch into the tree, and somebody came running over. No, we're going to use it for the memorial. Well, people with a lot more foresight than I had already, were thinking about this. And thank God, or we'd have been having a Murrah building stump instead of a beautiful tree that's become. So I'm really thankful that people were thinking a little bit ahead of what I was doing.
Please welcome 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Rocky Yardley.
Well, the one thing that movie proves is I have not aged well. I need to spend a little more time with Scott, apparently. I'll keep my thanks brief. I am truly humbled to be one of the recipients of this prestigious honor. I can also truthfully say I am shocked to be selected after meeting the other recipients and reading their bios. I pretty much feel like a cow patty in a field of thoroughbreds, though. OCCC, or as I've always known her, Sock Jock, will always have a special place in my heart. Here in this center of higher learning, higher education, I, along with my brothers and sisters, were given skills, easing pain, reducing suffering, saving lives, and even bringing new lives into the world. I think a lot about this school and their incredible instructors who take young people and give them confidence, education, compassion, and courage to be better than they could ever imagine. This attribute, which this school ingrained in us, has followed us into other careers. For every instructor I've had, know you have my utmost admiration and appreciation. I want to thank my parents, my wife Julie, my son Max, his wife Jen. In my 47 years as a public servant, you, my family, witnessed the physical and emotional tolls these jobs take. For all the holidays, birthdays, and family outings I missed because of work, you always understood and never wavered in supporting me. I will never be able to thank you enough for your constant encouragement and love. Thanks mostly, though, for teaching me nothing is more important than family. OCCC, thank you for this honor. Thanks for your lifelong skills, and thank you for educating the future generations of this great country. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.
I started as an employee, and while I was here took some classes, and then my family started taking classes. And you know, that's really never stopped. My entire adult life, this college has been a big part of my life and my family's life.
Author, documentarian, filmmaker, Bill Moore began his career as an OCCC staffer, working in the media production department to produce programs for the college community.
I worked here for 4 years. We produced all the videotapes, instructional tapes. For a couple of years, we actually did a cable program about the college. That entailed a lot of stories about what we offered here, the professors, the students. We would highlight different aspects of the college. We had telecourses that went out over Cox Cable. We had satellite uplink for teleconferencing for businesses in the area. We had something called Talkback TV, which was live classrooms that were microwaved to prisons and to the remote sites in the state for people who couldn't go to college. They could take college classes and get college credit. Just things like that. Always progressive, always staying on the cutting edge.
After cutting his teeth in the business at OCCC, Bill moved down the street to the FAA for a brief time, producing video for the agency, before going to work for the Oklahoma Historical Society, a natural fit for him.
I'm third generation Oklahoman. My family has been here from the early days, and my family has been a part of the major industries of this state, agriculture, aviation, and the oil patch. So it's family stories I've heard through the years, and Oklahoma history is part of my family. So it's a natural growth for me to explore different topics in history and to really try to search out those little known facts about Oklahoma history.
With roots in journalism and a pronounced love for Oklahoma, Bill began writing magazine articles to start.
When I get an idea for a magazine article, then I start exploring it. Usually the stories really take you off on a journey.
From magazine articles, Bill progressed to authoring books to complement the video work he continued to produce to document Oklahoma historical figures.
When I was about 12 is when we went to the moon. So the space program was big to me throughout my growing up years, and then that carried over into my adult years. I've written not only magazine articles but books on the space program. And that has spilled over into my documentary work. I've done several documentaries for OETA. I did one on Arthur Ramsey, who was a newsreel cameraman in Oklahoma in the 30s, and that was fascinating to explore the subject matter of the Dust Bowl era in Oklahoma. Probably my favorite program is one I did on General Tom Stafford from Weatherford and his amazing space career, as well as his aviation career. I did one on Wiley Post on the centennial of his birth.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I had been interviewing some of the astronauts from Oklahoma. The first one being Tom Stafford, but Gordon Cooper, who was in the Mercury program, came through in the year 2000. And I was lucky enough to get some time to interview him. And I started compiling these, and I was thinking, you know, we need to tell this story, because not only do we have the astronauts, but they would say, well, you know, there was this person that worked in mission control was from Oklahoma. And as the more I explored it, the more I realized how significant Oklahoma's contribution was to the space program. I produced a 7-part series for OETA on Oklahomans in space. And we produced a coffee table book to go along with it as a companion. And that was finished, the book was finished in 2011, and the documentaries were in 2014. And both that and the Stafford program were nominated for the Heartland Emmy. So I was really proud that that was recognized like that.
When the Historical Society made plans to build a new history center, OHS head Bob Blackburn knew Bill was just the person he needed to help preserve a fading treasure.
When I was working on my master's thesis about film in Oklahoma and newsreels, I traveled the state looking for them and tried, checked libraries, universities, everywhere I could. And I realized that these films were scattered, and I also realized they were going away. because videotape had pretty much replaced it everywhere, and people just didn't know what to do with the film. So a lot of times they just throw it away. So I had talked with Bob Blackburn about this, so when he brought me on board, he said, I want you to build the film library and collect this film of Oklahoma. And I said, really? Do you know what's out there? And he said, yep, I'll let you guess. Okay. So when they built the new building, in the basement, they built a film vault. It's huge, just huge room. And I thought, this is great. Well, I had it was full within a couple of years because people realized that the Historical Society would take care of their film, and they were looking for something to do with it, someplace for it to be placed. And so we got millions of feet of film, of Oklahoma film in there.
Bill has spent his career appreciating Oklahoma history. He also is appreciative of what OCCC has meant to his own personal history.
This college has been such a part of my life through the years. I have worked here. I've been a volunteer here for the arts festivals. I've participated in a lot of classes, and you know, I just love what it does for me as a person, both my private life and my career. So it's been a lifelong journey, and you realize that education never stops.
Please welcome 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Bill Moore.
Thank you so much. This is quite an honor. This building is amazing that we're in, sitting with Gray Frederickson and thinking about what folks like he has done for this institution. In fact, let me mention who's with me tonight. My aunt from the state of Washington is here with us, and my mom, Mary Moore, she won't mind me telling you, she's 85. She's with us tonight. My brother Rick and his wife Vicki, and my wife Donna, she won't let me tell you how old she is. And also, what's kind of neat about this evening, I've got some of the folks I worked with here 30-some years ago. There's Gwen Faulkner Lippert. Gwen came to us, Dr. Don Newport, one of the early presidents here at the college, wanted to make this institution better known. And so he wanted to start a cable program. So we started a monthly cable show called Connecting, and you saw the intro for it there, and it was on Cox Cable every month. Rusty Munns is there too. Rusty, like me, was one of the cameramen, editors on that program, and it's pretty exciting to do. Rick Lippert's there with his wife Gwen, and Rick is an old friend from video production days, and is here now at the college. And Bill Welge, he was the research division manager at the Oklahoma History Center, and like me, he's retired now, but we never leave. You're always back doing something for him, but I really appreciate all of you being here tonight with me. I learned so much here. Your foundation for your career and your life, you learn at a facility like this. And like I was mentioning in the video, this facility is always on the cutting edge. I mean, we were even doing interactive video in 1982 using a 3/4-inch video deck and an Apple II computer. So you see the growth here, and it's constant. You look at lifelong learning, like I mentioned in that program, you never really leave. When I went to the History Center, we were going to incorporate the new aspects of nonlinear computer editing, and I had always done editing with tape-to-tape machines. So this was something new to me, and I needed to learn it. And so when I came here to take an Avid editing course, thanks to Gray Frederickson, who's brought so much to this facility in the film production and video area, I was able to take that and do all of the videotapes when we opened the Oklahoma History Center, and to continue to do television programs. And it's just, it's a lifelong process. And for you students that are here today, you never want to lose that contact with this facility, because it can always be a big help to you, like it was and has been to me. I'd like to thank the OCCC Association of Alumni and Friends. I'd like to thank Gwen for starting this nomination. Thank the regents, my brother Rick, Dr. Jerry Stewart, and just want to let you know I will represent this honor with a lot of pride. Thank you very much.
I've always been a political junkie, and it really started probably in 3rd or 4th grade. You know, I would have conversations with my parents, and I remember having a conversation with my grandfather where he asked me what I would do if I was president. And at the time I said I would make all sidewalks and streets dirt so kids didn't get hurt on them. Not a very good policy looking back. But I was always interested in politics, but just didn't know where I wanted to go with it beyond simply studying. I was in the Junior Statesmen of America, which was the debate program at my high school, and I became president of the debate club for a year while I was in high school. And then at OCCC joined the Oklahoma Intercollegiate Legislature, which gets to come up here and kind of play legislator for a few days during the semester.
Shane Stone has had great interest in politics since a very young age, and he grew up identifying with the hardworking families of his native South Oklahoma City. When it came time for college, OCCC was a natural choice for him.
I was working 2 jobs most of the time and going to school there, so sometimes I'd show up to class in muddy jeans and work boots, but it worked with my schedule incredibly well. It fit my lifestyle at the time, where it just perfectly fit where I was going in life and where I was coming from. In political science, I got to take a wide range of classes. My intro to law class was still one of the toughest classes I ever took. That and my capstone class with Dr. Smith were just incredibly rigorous, but prepared me for what I do now in so many ways. And I even had a school project while I was in state and local government to actually come up here to the Capitol and watch what went on. And it was at that time that I decided at some point in my future I wanted to be working right here in this room, just by watching all the energy in the room. And that all started with a school project from OCCC. For that school project, I got to sit on the floor with Representative Morissette, and while I was in the intercollegiate legislature the next semester at OCCC, I stopped by his office just to say hi and talk to his assistant, Jackie, and that led to an internship where I would come up here 3 days a week and kind of shadow. And it was during that time that I had people start approaching me saying, you know, your home district, we need a good Democrat to run there because the current Democrat's going to term out. Are you interested at all? And I said, you know, I probably won't be really ready for that for another 10 years. But eventually people just started introducing me to people saying, this is Shane Stone and he's running for the State House of Representatives. Before I knew it, I was wrapped up in it, and when I really realized it was possible for me to get here, I was excited and I hit the ground running from that point.
Shane began a campaign for Oklahoma House District 89 while still pursuing his bachelor's degree in political science at the University of Oklahoma.
So I started campaigning, it was a year before I graduated college. It was about March to May of 2013, and I graduated in 2014. So throughout that entire last year of my college experience, I was running for office. At the very beginning of my campaign, I had someone tell me, everyone's going to tell you you're too young, but just remember that is always an advantage because you have more energy than anyone else out there, and you just have an appeal to people because some people want those new ideas, want the new blood in politics. So it was different, and I did have a few people at doors say, you know, you're so young. I don't know, that seems off. But I had more, for every person that would say something like that, I had 2 or 3 people that said, you're exactly what we need in Oklahoma politics, because we need someone to go up there and shake it up and really make a difference, be idealistic, be young, come in with those fresh ideas.
After months of knocking on doors to introduce himself and his ideas, in his primary election in June 2014, Shane finished 11 points behind the leader. Disheartening, but still with enough votes to make the runoff.
The runoff election evening was wonderful because it was, we won by 22 points. We had this huge swing that a lot of people didn't see coming. A lot of the political junkies in Oklahoma wrote me off 2 months prior, and then we came back and threw the election the other way. And having the minority leader, Scott Inman, stop by my watch party and, and getting all these phone calls and text messages, that was a wonderful night.
With no opposition in the general election, Shane was sworn in as the representative for District 89 in January of 2015, and his work for his constituents began in earnest. Shane has spent his first term being a passionate advocate for public education.
Public education is first and foremost for me, just because I'm aware of the opportunities it granted me, especially when I talk about how I got to where I am today. OCCC is a huge part of that. So community colleges, Metro Tech, the Metro Tech system and things like that, I think are incredibly important. The less fun one to talk about that I'm also really passionate about is the tax system. There are quite a few things wrong with our tax system, and I enjoy getting in the weeds on those issues and working on them. The talking points aren't as good, and you don't necessarily always talk about that when you're knocking doors, but those are, I would say, both sides of my passion, because in both areas you can really help the working class, the middle class, create opportunities for itself.
He's just got a major focus on public education, because in his district there are a lot of folks, a lot of middle class and working class citizens in his district that will not have the chance to succeed if we don't have a good, robust public education system. And Shane understands that. And so he's been a true advocate for sort of the small business community as well as the public education community. He's done that in his committee work, and more importantly, he's done it on the House floor.
I've gotten a bit of a reputation for being a bit forward with people. I have my stances on issues. If I see something wrong in a bill, I'll go after it. I was one of the more vocal members of the House of Representatives across my first 2 years. I voted no the second most out of any representative in the entire legislature, which was a record I was quite proud of, considering the direction the state's gone with a few things.
Shane's hard work on behalf of his district and all Oklahomans has been recognized and appreciated, and consequently, he is unopposed for re-election for a second term.
Well, I've learned so much throughout my first 2 years, but I've just been able to get up and fight for the people of South Oklahoma City, and for kids like me who, after they leave high school, they start off at a community college or something. They come from working families, and they have their goals in mind, but they have to work a little harder to get there. Representing those people has been a truly rewarding experience.
Please welcome 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Representative Shane Stone.
Wow, I can't even begin to describe how big of an honor this is for me. I can't believe I'm even up here. I've listened to other stories tonight from people who I was drinking from a bottle and they were saving lives or making movies. And in one breath, it makes me feel not quite as deserving, but I'm just so honored to be here and so glad to be nominated to be a member of the OCCC Hall of Fame. I want to direct everybody's attention to the two tables that are here with me tonight. I think it's table 2 and 9, right up here up front. And if you look at the people at those tables, and you randomly select one, any one of them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without those people. My parents are here, my beautiful wife, Courtney, my sisters, my brother-in-law, Nathan, who let me steal his birthday tonight. Happy birthday, Nathan. Friends, colleagues, my mother and father-in-law, and last but certainly not least, 2 professors at OCCC that I had just 4 years ago that made such a difference in my life, and I talked about their courses briefly in the video that you saw, and most of what I was going to say up here was actually centered around that story of going up to the House of Representatives as an intern, and that directly leading me to where I'm at today. But I already told you that story, I guess. To me, that's what community college is about. It's not just about higher education, but while I was here, I wasn't just pushed to study, and in fact, I think both professors that are here would tell you that I didn't act like I was either, but they pushed me out into the community and made sure I stayed active, and that led me exactly to where I'm at today. Like I said, I couldn't be more honored to be standing here in front of you, in front of all of you. I have to thank every member of the faculty and staff at OCCC, from the advisor who walked me through everything when I first walked in these doors 6 years ago,
on up to President Stewart, every professor I've ever had, just thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless all of you.
After graduating Choctaw High School, Debbie Kearns went to work for the Oklahoma Tax Commission and toiled for years in the fields of business and accounting while raising a young family. Ultimately, though, she knew that financials were not her true passion.
My mother went to nursing school, and so it was something I always wanted to do, but life got in the way and kids, and I just delayed it. And thought that I would do the accounting because my husband's a CPA and had an accounting degree, and discovered that nursing was what I really had a passion for.
With the encouragement of her husband, Debbie began chasing her dream at OCCC.
I worked full-time and I went to school full-time, and I was the mother of 2 young little girls. But it was very doable for me to go to school in the evenings and get a nursing degree. And I've discovered since being out of school that the value of Oklahoma City Community College's nursing program, because the hands-on education that I felt we received really prepared us to be a nurse and to be there in the field. I went to work at Baptist in the ICU. I was the first new grad nurse in ICU, and I did cardiac ICU. And so I had a lot of great mentors, people that had been nurses for many years, and they took me under their wing and taught me to be an ICU nurse.
In her time at Baptist Hospital, Debbie was promoted from staff nurse to charge nurse to clinical director and administrative supervisor. She also returned to school to get her bachelor's degree from Southern Nazarene University. Then a new opportunity came calling. The Oklahoma Heart Hospital was preparing to open and asked Debbie to come on board as chief nursing officer to help them get up and running, an experience that would serve her well in the years to come.
We started out with finalizing the operations policies, hiring staff for the new hospital. We hadn't opened yet. So I went there about 6 months before the Heart Hospital opened. And so I assisted in, or I hired all of the staff for the hospital, developed the policies, implemented the operations, and then opened the hospital.
After 5 years at the Heart Hospital, another career-furthering opportunity presented itself when Debbie was recruited to Community Hospital in South Oklahoma City to be not only the chief nursing officer, but also the chief operating officer.
My responsibilities were overall operations of the hospital. I was responsible for all the clinical teams. The directors of the clinical departments reported directly to me, and responsible for the hospital operations, making sure that we met our quality measures, our patient satisfaction, everything that goes into making a hospital excel, as well as financial measures.
Community Hospital ranks very high in patient satisfaction and has received a CMS 5-star rating, one of only 102 facilities nationwide to do so. Debbie was promoted to Chief Executive Officer just over a year ago.
I had a mentor tell me years ago that you want to get to a point in leadership that you can, at least part of the day, look at your business and the world from the 50,000-foot level, and so that you can be strategic and plan and to grow your business.
Grow your business Debbie has. Community Hospital has expanded, recently opening a new inpatient facility to serve North Oklahoma City.
I like to grow new entities. I like to open new hospitals. I enjoy that. This was something that I saw that I could build from the ground up. We opened day one completely full, and it went well. It's, as you open any new business, you have kinks to work out, and things aren't always as smooth as you would like for them to be, but it's been very successful. But that's only because I have a very good team to work with, and everybody knows their job, and they help each other, and we've got a great culture in the organization.
Community Hospital has a long-standing partnership with OCCC, and as boss of the well-respected healthcare facility down the road from the college, Debbie has opportunity to observe OCCC nursing students in action.
We do clinical rotations for Oklahoma City Community College here at the hospital. And it is, one, because I'm an alum, but two, because their nursing students are always well prepared. And the clinical instructors are strong, and they're always there with the students to help through that learning process.
Among her many professional accomplishments, of which one is Debbie the most proud?
Being a nurse. I think having that nursing degree and being able to do something that was near and dear to my heart. My daughter, when she was younger, my daughters were so proud of me because I was a nurse. And it's part of that servant's heart, I think, that they were proud of their mother. But I remember when I went into the director role, and I went from wearing scrubs every day to wearing a suit, and my youngest daughter said, "Mommy, I can't be proud of you anymore." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because you're not a nurse anymore." And I said, "You know, but I'm still a nurse. I just get to help a lot of patients."
Please welcome 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Debbie Kearns.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Alumni Association for this honor. I was very surprised and when I received the phone call. You know, I had a good friend and mentor and coworker that I work with every day asked me what my leadership philosophy was and how I exemplify that in the qualities of my work and community. You know, I developed that philosophy here at Oklahoma City Community College, and the time that I spent here helped shape who I am today and what I've been able to accomplish with my team. I want to say thank you to the team members that are here at the first two tables. Without them, the last 11 years that I've spent at Community Hospital wouldn't have been possible. One of the things that I said in the video was that without the team, we couldn't have accomplished what we accomplished. And I truly have the best team that I've ever worked with. From our chief of staff to our directors, from all of our departments. So I want to thank you all for being here. I wouldn't have been a nurse without my husband. I kept putting off going to nursing school because I was too busy. And I had gone and enrolled, and I put it off, and I said, "No, I'm not going to go." And he went and picked up my books and set them down in front of me, and he said, "You're going to school. I'm going to take care of the kids, and you're going to do your dream." My kids tease me to this day because I think he fixed them hamburger and fried potatoes every day for a couple of years. But we all survived it, and it's been a great time. You know, I believe that the time that I spent here in the college made a difference in my life. And I know those of you that are future fans that are sitting out in the audience will see the same examples in your life. And I just want to say thank you and appreciate this honor.
We came over America. It was an incredible trip, actually. We came to a refugee camp first. We had to stay at that camp on an island for months until we get a sponsorship. The Americans sponsored you to come here, and it was a family sponsored us to come over. They'll set you in the house and a job. And by that time, you know, it's actually my mom, and helped my mom find work, but she couldn't speak English, so she went to wash the dishes. She walked to work and worked from 10 to 10 while I would go over my neighbors and stay when she comes home. And we don't have any family here, just my mom and I, so it was quite an experience.
At 6 years old, Scott Dew made the journey with his mother to the United States from their native Vietnam. Scott attended grade school and high school in Moore, Oklahoma, learning English, acclimating to life in America, and looking for a way to fit in. His path led him to OCCC.
And I didn't have a sense of direction where I was going to do with my life, where to start school and stuff. And we didn't have a lot of money, and I had to pay for my own school. So my friend said, well, come up here, play basketball with us, and check out the school. It's very inexpensive to start out. You get your basic classes here. You know, something you can kind of, it's more of a community here. You know, everyone's here will help you, get started. And, so it was a big school, and I've only been in America for maybe 10, 12 years then. And, I'm still learning English, and people were always helpful. And there's a lot of exchange students there, and everyone's just really helpful there.
Scott had grown up wanting to be an athlete, but found his opportunities limited because of his small frame.
I was very small and scrawny. I was skinny and, don't know anything about nutrition, don't know how to eat, so I tried out sport and didn't never make it. So I started working out, so I built that confidence. I would say when I started learning the education and fitness was at the community college. There was a basketball court. I remember there was tons of guys were playing basketball, and I walked in there and they let me play 1 or 2 games, but I was very good at it again. So I stick with my working out, and I'll weight train out 2 hours a day, sometimes 3 hours a day. I have nothing to do. I'll study, go work out, study, go work out. And I remember walking past all the guys because they won't let me play basketball with them. I walk past and there was a pull-up bar. I go over there and do chin pull-up. Every day, walk by them, try to do. I'll start out with only 3 or 4 chin pull-ups. Then I worked my way up to like 15. I was doing 10, 15, 4 or 5 sets of 10 to 15 reps. And over the 2 years course, all the guys noticed I gained some muscle so fast. And these guys like, how are you putting out much muscle in your legs and your arms, all that? So they asked me, hey, would you show us how to work out? I'm like, of course. These are the guys I want to play basketball with. They're asking me to teach them how to work out.
Scott's career in fitness took off from there. He trained his college buddies and kept working on improving his own physique as well. He was soon taken by the sport of bodybuilding.
I was amazed how these people looked. They looked like cartoon characters. They were ripped and built big shoulders and legs, and I was like, how do you guys look like that? They didn't look like, their skin was very thin, and they don't look real. And I was just amazed because I love fitness, I love working out already, and that was the next level.
Scott took his training to that next level and beyond, turning professional in 2013.
What competing gave me was that confidence, feeling incredible. I mean, being on stage, winning or not winning, it felt like that accomplishment. And when you're in great shape, it's just the best feeling ever. And I wanted to share that with everyone in the community.
Scott's enthusiasm for fitness carried him into business ownership. At his Do It Right fitness gym in Northwest Oklahoma City, he helps others get healthy in body and mind.
I have clients, all different clients actually. I have the youngest clients that's 11 years old. I have the oldest clients that's 80 years old. I love working with overweight clients. That's my favorite. There's some ones that a regular Mary or Tom in their 40s that needs to lose 30, 50 pounds. That's what I like to specialize in. I like to work with them. I encourage them and I motivate them, and I make them realize they can do it. I make them truly believe it. Once they have that where they truly believe they can lose weight, and that's where I come in and teach them about food, nutrition, all that stuff.
Among Scott's 1,000 plus clients are hundreds of amazing success stories. And his reach has extended well beyond Oklahoma. Scott has almost 300,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook, and utilizes social media to inspire and assist people all over the world with his professional fitness advice. Scott even put himself into the ultimate state of empathy for his clients, once intentionally getting out of shape and gaining 40 pounds, then pushing himself to lose the weight and regain fitness utilizing his own program in a Fit to Fat, Fat to Fit challenge.
Great thing about being a personal trainer throughout the day is staying motivated, because if I'm preaching this all day long to my clients, like, you can do it, you can lose weight, how much you have, what's your goal at, helps me stay motivated and driven. Because when you talk about it, you live it all day, that's who you become. So it's a great job. I mean, I'm staying in shape because of my clients and my gym, my business.
Among other awards, Scott has been voted Best Personal Trainer by Slice Magazine and recognized as having the best body in Oklahoma by So6 Magazine.
If a kid from Vietnam came over 6 years old, can become a bodybuilder, from working out, you can lose 20, 30 pounds and get healthy and feel amazing. Because then when you feel amazing, you carry yourself differently. Your personality, your charisma, your job, the way you, with your family, your spouse, with your kids, is completely different. And I want everyone to experience that, I want to share my knowledge because what the United States, the world gave to me, I want to give that back.
Please welcome 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Scott Dew.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God. I owe everything to Him. All my friends and clients always ask me, how come you're so motivated and driven? Well, I have to give it all to my parents. I want to share a story. Over 30 years ago, my parents had to sold everything they owned except for their shirt and their back, risked their life to escape to America after the war. And it was on a boat, and people were dying. Hundreds of thousands of people were dying overseas to escape to an island after the war. And from that, watching them working hard, helping me, putting me through school, and encouraging me, that I see their dedication and their hard work. That's where my inspiration is from my parents. So I want to say thank you very much for my parents, for everything you've done for me. I just got married recently, and my wife is the most supporting, amazing woman that I ever met, and we're having a new fitness journey together now. I have a partner next to me to encourage me and keep me motivated. Missy, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank you, all my clients and friends and in-laws coming out supporting me. I'm very honored for Oklahoma City Community College to award me for this. I wouldn't be here today. This is where I started my fitness journey, my passion, found my passion. What I love in life was at the school. Everyone here was so nice, made me feel welcome. All the professors, especially the students here, they're just more than just a group, but just friends that supported you, encouraged you, helping you through everything in life. And actually, I saw one friend tonight. He's here. I haven't seen him in 20 years. We went to high school, we went to college here, and it's just amazing thing that I have this life in America, and I want to give back in return and help everyone. Also, I'd like to thank God for everything, and thank you for everything for this award. Appreciate it.
Safari was magnetic. She was like a magnet to people. They were drawn to her. When she walked in a room, she absolutely captured everyone's eyes. I mean, it was like they looked at her, and it was like a double take. I always have said, and I believe this, every man fell in love with her. Immediately, every woman thought, ooh, I hate her, until they get to know her, and then they too just adored her.
We adored her, of course. You can't not. When you first see her, you're just struck by her beauty, and then immediately, within 5 minutes, you're thinking, I could be her best friend.
She had such a magnetic, charismatic, sweet, genuinely loving and caring nature about her. And she knew, she had traveled the world, and she knew that one person could make such a difference. That just that one person could pick up the paper towel that's laying in the bathroom floor. That one person could go mow somebody's neighbor's yard, or pick some flowers little dandelions, and take them to them and put the smile on their face. She learned, I guess, at a very early age what people's needs were, and when she saw them or recognized them, If it was something she could do, she did it. And she did it with a glad heart. And she did it willingly and lovingly and so precious. She truly was precious.
Although her resume may have indicated that she has been a community relations specialist, a pharmaceutical sales rep, and even a Sonic car hop, Safari McDoulet was actually a master builder. A builder of bridges connecting people and communities with life-changing solutions. From a very young age, Safari built a reputation as an advocate for the less advantaged.
She was very passionate about things that being fair. It was essential to her that everything and everyone was treated fair and as nicely as could be possible.
Safari assisted many groups whose purpose is to positively impact lives. The United Way, Habitat for Humanity, Rotary International, The Christmas Connection, Capitol Hill Main Street, Rebuild Together OKC, the Neighborhood Alliance, and many others. She even followed one particular passion around the globe, helping Operation Smile change the lives of countless children in India, Peru, Australia, and elsewhere. Back home in Oklahoma, in the employ of Oklahoma County Commissioner Brian Maughan, Safari tackled community issues with that same passion. Along with Commissioner Maughan, she championed SHINE, an alternative sentencing program for nonviolent offenders who are put to work cleaning up neighborhoods in need, achieving tremendous results in areas like Crystal Lake, Mulligan Flats, and many others. Out of that program, Safari conceived of Students for SHINE.
She was sitting there every day in and day out working with these offenders, and we would go get them to work on particular projects, and she said, I've really been thinking we ought to really address the root cause that leads these people down this path to get in trouble in the first place. Part of what SHINE, the offender programs, to do is to reduce recidivism, because if you're out there having to actually do some hard manual labor, you'll really think about what you've done. But she said, wouldn't it be just better and less costly on society and not bog down the jail or the court system, and just not have people getting in trouble at all? And one thing she really researched was civic engagement among the youth reduces that. And she said, we just need to come up with a program that incentivizes young people before they graduate either high school or college to really get involved. And when they're exposed to that kind of volunteerism, then they actually wind up it becomes infectious, and they want to stay engaged and do that well into their adulthood and in their careers. I thought it was a great concept, except I didn't know practically how it would be implemented from our office, and I just envisioned that every Saturday morning for the rest of our lives we were going to have to coordinate a herd of squirrels with all these kids out there and try to have projects and work lined up. She said it won't be like that at all. We merely have to put the carrot stick out there and they will incentivize themselves and go out and do it. And I thought, well, I was a good kid, but I wouldn't have done probably a whole lot of that. Or I wouldn't have ever thought about what to do unless it was sort of laid out for me. So I really just didn't get it, and I stayed kind of hesitant about it, and she just didn't let off of it. She was very persistent. And so this is all really her baby, and she created Students for SHINE. She laid it all out, she did all the paperwork, got everything run through the Board of County Commissioners agenda, and went around and told all the learning institutions, in fact, launched the official kickoff at OCCC. And we had a packed house of all the educators, school board members, counselors, and a lot of student leaders came, and it was a huge hit just right from the start.
Since the program's inception, Oklahoma City students have logged over 500,000 hours of service to our community.
So she was a problem solver, that she could recognize that she had some skills in herself. She had the ability to talk to anyone. Nobody scared her to pick up the phone and call them, whether it's the mayor or the lieutenant governor or anybody else that she needed to talk to about solving a problem. She would do it, and then she would bring all that information back to whoever was working with her and brainstorm. It was never ever about Safari's going to solve this problem. It was about how are we going to solve this problem. And so she was very inclusive in everything she did.
She rarely told anybody no, which was sometimes a problem for our office because she just felt like we could figure out a way. She just was a total committed person to everything she applied to, including just trying to help these people at the chess club figure out where in a public place these senior citizens could go play chess. I mean, you know, that was nothing anybody in the county commissioner's office did, and she got a place set up over at the Newark Library downtown, and she would go over there and spend her lunch break with these senior citizens to give them a companion. And you know, she would help with anybody that said they needed something for their business, or if they mentioned something that they liked and she went on a trip and she saw it, she would buy it and bring it back to them. She just had this amazing capacity to remember all these personal, meaningful things to people, and then, you know, brought those connections together. There will never be another one like her. She was just a total champion for people. Didn't matter if they were Americans or if it was overseas. When she went on mission trips to help with Operation Smile, wherever she went, she tried to figure out how she could make the world a better place and improve people's lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for 2016 Alumni Hall of Fame inductee, Safari McDoulet.
Thank you all. It's the only standing ovation I ever got. This one was for Safari. First of all, I want to do something new. I want to thank all the people who are inductees tonight. Yes. In your honor, I give you honor. I have to put my eyes on. I want to thank everyone that came tonight to honor all the inductees and my Safari into the Oklahoma City Community College Foundation Hall of Fame. Excuse me. My Safari did believe that every single solitary person that lived in this world could make a difference. She didn't care where you came from, where you went. She knew you could do it if you decided you wanted to, and she had the personality and the passion to see to it that it was done. She often quoted Margaret Mead. This is her very favorite quote. She had 3, but this is her favorite. Margaret Mead once said, "Don't doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has changed the world." As a small group or as an individual, you have the chance to change the world that you live in the area where you are right now. I'm going to do something a little different. I want all of Safari's family that's here tonight to stand up and remain standing. And I want you to watch the faces on these people, all of you who are not part of them. Family, would you please stand? High school students that went to school with Safari that helped mold her in her honoriness, I want to thank you. Would you please stand and remain standing? County co-workers and people who ever worked on a job with Safari, would you please stand and remain standing? All nonprofits and organizations that worked with Safari on whatever capacity, please stand and remain standing. Shine Board, who's going to help Safari shine, live on forever and be a legacy, which she already is. Representative Bands, I want to thank you for naming the law after Safari for the Shine program, for the prisoners and for the students and for the future of Oklahoma. All the nominees who nominated Safari, and I understand there was a long list of them, and I'm so grateful that you thought about her. She's the first and only one who has passed, who has been put into the Hall of Fame at this time. I can't think if there's anyone else. Oh, yeah. All of the people who were friends who did not work with her, who didn't grow up with her, but who knew her and loved her as we did. Would you please stand? I want to introduce my oldest daughter, Cinnamon, who flew in from Houston today, and my youngest son, Jade, who escorted us up. My daughter-in-law and some of my grandkids are there. I tell you what, family means everything. Your friends mold you. They all just bless you. I want you to know that Safari took stumbling blocks and she turned them into stepping stones. If she couldn't figure out a way to do something, she'd find somebody else who did. And then before you know it, it was done. It was in action. And you saw miracles work, attitudes change, and people blessed. This is just a small fraction of the people that she knew and met. There was over 2,000, almost 3,000 people at her funeral. That's how well represented she was. I'm going to ask each one of you, each and every one of you, think about this. When you go home, you think about what Safari has done. 2 pages of single-line things that she was a part of and things that she did in Oklahoma County. But when you go home, I want you to think how you can volunteer, donate, help, or share. What you can do every day for the rest of your life. Each and every day, do something sweet, loving, caring, and trust me, God will bless you like you've never been blessed before. And I offer you my blessings tonight as the mother of the most wonderful child and the mother of talented, intelligent, beautiful kids. I am honored, and I honor you. Thank you.
I might add, about 30 days after the tragic accident that took Safari's life, I was opening my emails and I was looking for an email that I had put in a file, and I opened a closed file with emails, and there was an email from Safari urging me to get her some names because she was going to work with some people at the college. So she certainly deserved all the accolades that you gave her, Miss Patty. Well, this concludes our program. I have to say, I am in awe of our award recipients. You are inspiring. Not only have you done well and you've made us proud, you have inspired us. And again, I know I can speak for the faculty and staff here at the college that you are the reason that we continue the work that we do. I want to thank you again for coming tonight. Dr. Hong is going to come and close with just a few remarks. But again, thank you for being here. And to you recipients, again, thank you for choosing Oklahoma City Community College. Thank you for making us proud. And thank you for your inspiration.
I want to just take a couple of seconds to go off script real quick. And I feel like I'm speaking on behalf of the audience here. Would you agree with me how lucky we are here tonight to be in the presence of these Hall of Famers? It's these individuals, these wonderful people that inspire us, compassion. And I feel like nowadays, we need more compassion than we ever did for one another. So, I'll get back to script. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to remind you that you have an integral part in providing opportunities for students who, as a result, might one day, in the future, be here receiving the Alumni Hall of Fame for their positive contributions to our community. I want to leave you all a segment of, as a part of an inspirational speech in respect to tonight's event. It's from the movie, Any Given Sunday. Have any of y'all seen that movie? I'm assuming by that laughter that's a yes, hopefully. delivered by the famous Al Pacino. And he's a football coach, for those of you who haven't seen it. He's trying to motivate and inspire his losing football team. I can't do Al Pacino, but I'm gonna try my best. You find out that life is just a game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half step too late or too early, you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow or too fast, and you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every minute, every second. Because we all know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the beep difference. This is where he cussed. Let me start over. That's going to make the beep difference between winning and losing, between living and dying. We hope you would please consider this opportunity to help more students to get a few inches ahead by filling out those donation cards on those tables. So leave them on your table, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Show more compassion to one another, and have a great life. Thank you.